All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Play Like a Pro. On this episode, I've had a couple of requests. We are going to do Kyle Kremp of the G2 Minnesota. As always with the Play Like a Pro videos, if you want to play like your favorite pros, this is where you want to watch. We are going to watch how he plays on an individual level. We're focused on number one, how he plays on a micro level, the fights he takes, how he takes them, how he prepares for them, his movement, stuff like that, positioning, decision making, and then we're going to see how that piece fits in the macro. So your macro is the wider chessboard, the wider sort of like strategy. How do all the pieces fit together? Game plans, systems, how they react to information, wave by wave, all of that sort of stuff. Now, there's going to be a lot of concepts that you guys probably have never heard of before. So make sure you watch. I'll try and explain it as best as I can and in as simplest terms that I can. And hopefully, I know when you guys are watching this video, at the end of this video, you'll be able to take away some things that you can apply today in ranked. So let's get it. We're going to be focused on number one. He has an SMG. For you guys who don't know, Kremp of G2, number one. He is an SMG player. He's a very quick player. And we'll note some of the tendencies that he has. Now, you can see instantly, he's thrown a pre-nade over this bridge, and he's decided to take a pinch. On this side, because the white team are able to get to the hill before the red team, you have situations where based on the side that you are on the break-off, you'll have a side that can either get to the hill quicker or have favorable positions on the hill, which then increase the percentage of them winning that fight and then also soaking time. So what you'll find is usually teams who are on the worst side of the map will try and either take more routes or use their nades and coordinate fights together. Because they don't have the time or the speed, they're beaten to the hill, they're beaten to power positions. You'll almost see them waiting, use their utility, and then try and set up routes in order to spread the defense to do something about that. As he is the SMG player, he is more likely and has the right weapon for the job. He's more efficient in doing a pinch play because of the fights that he's probably going to take are going to be short ranged. They're going to be SMG fights. And the fact that if he's on a pinch and he gets a kill, for example, then he can buy as much time as he can because he's going to be a lot more faster and have a lot more flexibility compared to his AR players. So 53 seconds left. This is what we call our break-off wave. White team get to the hill first. They get to the power positions first. And your break-offs are basically the opening move of chess. You're trying to figure out what the enemy team's going to do, where they're going to be, in order to get the first set of kills. Here, this is where your timings are very important. Timings are basically in what time and how many seconds do I think someone is going to be. As you can see with number 7, Insight, he has an assault rifle. He's going to play and he's anticipating a repinch to occur, so he's playing for that. What number 1 is most likely going to do is clear his timings, wait for the information, wait for these guys to activate, maybe get a kill or two, and then decide to then pinch. If he sees number 7 has information on him and he clears the top, he sees number 7 in ice cream, he clears the bottom, whatever, he might commit and drag number 7 away. But I imagine he's probably going to wait for a nade or some sort of trigger event in order to activate his play. Let's see what he does here. Gets that information immediately, takes that fight. He has an SMG versus an assault rifle player, and the beautiful thing, especially with this NPC meta, is if you treat your SMG like a shotgun, you can severely increase your percentage of winning the fight. Now, right here, he's trying to just reduce the distance between him and number 7. So I'll kind of want to put myself in his shoes and visualize. He sees number 7 here. He's committed at that point, keeps on running forward, gets lucky with the fact that it was an assault rifle player in yellow clearing him out, and gets the kill. I think if it was an SMG player who ended up trying to clear this route here, he may have died because he ended up getting caught sprinting. What it looks like on the minimap, he ended up getting caught sprinting, probably slides across, basically kills him for free. If it was an SMG challenging him, then I don't think that is the case. Now, because he's on the pinch and he's won his 1 kill, he's in a position to pinch 5 and 6, which then forces 5 and 6 to either commit to one side or split their attention. His job now is to buy as much time as he can, or if they're hive-minding, meaning the entire team have the same picture, they have the same end goal, that's what we mean by hive mind, then he can say with proactive communication, yo, I'm pinching, go challenge. So if Skies and Nasty challenge at the same time with number 7, then this can work, but then there's a potential they could flip if they end up dying. Let's see how he plays it here. Instantly commits to yellow. He's waiting for time. Now, this is where I'm kind of a bit iffy. I think it's either you go fast and you commit with 2 and 3, and you just commit to the wave, and if you flip them at 40 seconds, then all good, you just turn around, rather than kind of have a delayed push. This was kind of like half in, half out situation. I would rather he get the first kill and he just dictate the situation. So guys, when you're watching, when you're the guy on the pinch, it is on you to dictate the push. Dictate. You get to decide and do the thinking for your teammates. When you're the guy on the pinch, you have to make sure the rest of your teammates are on the same page, because they can't see what you are doing. If you get that 1 kill and you say, right guys, you watch the CDL and you see yourself up there, your name in the lights, playing next to the guys that you've idolized for years. And that's not a stupid dream. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But it is not going to happen the way that you're currently going about it. You're not standing still, you're getting worse. And your brain doesn't know a good habit from a bad one. It just learns what you repeat. And 3 hours tonight with the same mistakes is going to keep you stuck. There's a reason why you were stuck last year, you're stuck last season, you're stuck this season, and you see people come up as rookies out of nowhere. You've got a scuff, you've got a monitor, you've put 3,000 on a PC, and you still don't know what to do. And the reason nobody can fix it is because almost nobody can. The pros that you watch run on instinct that they can't explain, and you ask them why they make a certain play and they just say, hey, I just knew it. Your content creator coaches have 1 good season and they can't tell you why. I've spent 15 years doing this. I've spent over 10 years turning that instinct into a system that nobody else can actually learn. I'm a cancer researcher by training. I am a qualified boxing coach. So I diagnose your game the way I have diagnosed everything in the lab and in the ring. Root cause, name it, fix it. Being elite at a game and being able to teach others to install it are 2 different skills. I am one of the few people in Call of Duty who can do so. Every drill, every theory, everything in the 8 hours was built with these pros. When you run them, you are walking the exact same path that these players have done. Hydra, Sib, Skies, you name it. Everything you know, everything nobody has ever shown you or nobody talks about gets installed directly and drilled until it's muscle memory. You are not figuring anything out. I will direct you. You just got to show up and do the work. 40 players have done this. 1 player went from platinum to top 250. 10 players have gone from gold to iridescent in 8 hours. I've taken someone from silver to crimson in 8. Okay, you're not going to go pro in 8 hours, but I am saving you years of figuring this out on your own, and I wish I had this when I competed. October is going to be the next time I do this. 6 spots. You apply, we get on a call, and I decide if I can get you to where you want to go. Bring your squad. It becomes so much more cheaper. Or you just don't, and you can just keep wasting hours and hours and regret it in a couple of years' time that, hey, you didn't have a good chance of doing it, because you learned it once, you don't learn it again. You stop hoping you're going to improve and you start knowing you will, because I make the path as clear as possible from where you are to where you want to go. I've got 2 lessons on this website that you can do, and it's free. Watch them first and you can decide what you want to do. There's also a VIP option for you guys who want me on a 3-month retainer. Hit your personal best in 30 days or I will coach you for free until you do. I have never once done this guarantee. People have improved in the first 2 or 3 hours instantly. You don't know what you don't know. Fight. Go fight. Do it. And open up the timing for me. One of 2 things ends up happening. Is number 1, you end up pushing and 6 and the guy that was here turns round and then you get 3 kills. in the back and then you break. Or number 2, you get picked up, which then allows these guys to get a free kill if they are fast enough to then break the hill. Because what you can then do afterwards is from the hill, you can turn around, look for the last guy, anticipate a spawn flip if needed. So I think, in my opinion, in order to get to the same page, if you're Kremp here, especially when you are an SMG and you can win the game for your team, is you have to dictate and you have to use predictive, proactive comms to be like, yo, go do it right now. All right, let's see how he plays it here. Oof. He's a very, very talented player, this boy. Very, very talented. Look at the way he slide cancels. Look at his centering. He's got a shotgun. Snaps onto Abe using his strafing. You never want to stand still. One of the biggest problems I have with you Diamond and Platinum players is when you fight, you're not using your left stick centering. Use your left stick centering to strafe. Activate rotational aim assist and use it to snap onto someone like a shotgun. Really good recoil control from Kremp right here. Fantastic kill. So now this is where you've done your micro. You've got your kills. Your macro will then determine your micro. Your macro is your overall strategy. So right here, you should know, okay, what's the time on the clock? It's 40 seconds. Rule of 20, middle 20, your win condition is to soak. When you understand what your macro is, you can evaluate and you just get to the next best position based on the weapon you have, based on where you think they're spawning. So he's going to call out he's hard blocking. He's going to fill towards time, so we have this conveyor belt system going on. He's the second guy in the conveyor belt. He's going to refill where needed, get towards number 2, and then based on number 4, and then based on where number 3 ends up spawning, we'll tell you exactly where these guys are. You can then refill the power positions, refill the lanes, and have a responsibility on what you need to pick up. So let's see what he does here. Plays towards time. Right. He spawns on top of a teammate. No, sorry, he does not spawn on top of a teammate. Oh, he does. Yeah, so spawns on top of a teammate. That tells you, right, there's nobody pushed past the 50 of the time. They have no map progression. So easy enough. You know exactly where the enemies are. The fact that he's ended up spawning on this side of the map tells you most of the enemies are going to be on this side of the map. So now they can just play for the next wave. And guys, this is when Call of Duty becomes very linear. When you get into repeatable situations like this, you should know exactly where to go with the weapon you have. As long as you let the game come to you and you stay alive, you can position yourself to give yourself the highest percentage chance of getting a kill and then doing something from that. Now, in this situation, when you're in, this is what we call a setup. He can work with him. Them two can chow. When you are in a setup, you are in an advantageous position. This is an advantageous position because you have all the power positions. You are fighting from a position of strength. You know exactly where the enemies are going to be, and you can be proactive because you're dictating the situation. You're forcing the enemies to make a play. When you force the enemies to make a play, they make a mistake. There's a famous quote by Sun Tzu, I believe it is, where if your enemy is making a mistake, do not interrupt him. When you are in a setup, you increase the chance of enemies making a mistake. In order for the setups to work, you all need to be responsible for a lane based on where the enemies are spawning. So for you guys in ranked, learning where the spawns are, learning the triggers of the spawns, and then automating it is going to help you to improve. So right here, as the second guy in flow, you pick the next best position in order to win your one gunfight, and it allows you to stay alive so you can use your teammates' positioning. So right here, I would expect for their game plans, 1 and 4 to help each other. 3 can watch this, and this guy could potentially just play to block, play to watch this, whatever their setup is in the moment. Let's see how they play this setup right here. Ends up staying alive. This was wonderful from Kremp. For you guys who are regulars of my content, you will know the biggest... If I had to describe the SMG role and the purpose of an SMG, it's not running around and getting kills. It's actually buying as much time as you can in order to bring your teammates into the play. And right here, he does a really good job of not committing to the fight in order to bring number 4 into the play. When you do this and you stay disciplined in good positions, it allows you to use teamwork because you have enough time to digest that information. When you use teamwork, you can take the same fights. Now that he's seen insight, I fully expect number 4 to try and help Kremp and run it down. And that's how you end up maintaining advantageous positions, by showing a little bit of discipline when you are in good positions. So right here he calls him out, and now Envoy is activating to try and make moves on insight. Really, really good plays. Alright, your macro determines your micro. Kyle is currently 3-0. They're rotating. They know Toronto have new, so what G2 have to do is slow down, stay alive. This is how it becomes a step-by-step process for you guys who are watching, is when you start to understand the wave that you are in, you'll understand and predict, you're trying to anticipate where enemies are going to be, right? You're trying to guess. It's a game of guess game, right? It's like chess. And so when you realize you either don't have the numbers or you don't have the positions in order to get to new, you have to wait. You have to wait for teammates, and this is where it becomes a step-by-step process. You're now back to step 1. And step 1 is trying to get hill control or get kills to get hill control. And when you are trying to get kills to get hill control, you need to hold what we call progression spots. Progression spots are certain areas of the map where if you hold, you can do something with that. Our NYSL team in 2023 and 2024, we were really, really confident from a situational perspective, because we knew if we had to break a hill, first of all, we knew exactly when to break a hill. We knew the triggers, we knew how to guess, we knew how to predict. But it's really important when you start to look at the game from a chessboard perspective and from a teamwork perspective, you stop relying on individual solo plays and you try and bring your team as much as you can into everything that you do. In most cases. So right here, when you understand what the step 1 is, and my team was very good at that, is we understood where the progression spots were. And a progression spot is any advanced position on the map that can allow you to stay alive, get information, and allow your teammates to get towards you. So right here, this is a progression spot. This is potentially a progression spot, because these guys can run through and help you in order to set up a push. In order to make a push effective, it has to be 2 things. It has to be well timed, or you have to use teamwork, so you've got to be fighting together, and you've got to be taking the right routes. Now, theoretically, you all 4 could ape out one lane, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily the most efficient route. As long as you do it together, then there's a chance that it could work, but there's also a chance that you could get 2-pieced, 3-pieced. This is where you start to take what we call complementary routes. When you're breaking a hill, the key to breaking a disadvantageous position, the key in breaking a setup, is making it feel like you are everywhere on the map. By taking what we call complementary routes, you spread the attention of the technically defending team. When you spread the attention of the defending team, they are less likely able to use teamwork, and you increase the mistakes that they potentially could make because they hesitate on deciding which side to go to. So when you are the team that's breaking the hill, by making it feel like you are everywhere and by baiting information, because COD is an information game, you can make your breaks that much easier. What we did on NYSL is we would practice deliberately certain breaks, and we would take certain routes and have certain bait routes and certain bait strats on break-in to make it feel like we were everywhere. So we would have strats where if you are the guy that was doing this, you would be like, all right, I'm going to show myself here on purpose and then come back and do this. And I feel like as the games have gotten quicker and quicker and quicker, I feel like that strategy has almost kind of disappeared. And it's almost like get a lane and ape down. But what we would do is we would use bait strats to bait information, open up a timing instantly once we were in the positions to activate, and then use that to break hills while this guy was holding his shaft at the back doing absolutely diddly squat. So things like that can happen. So Nasty right here is holding progression. Your macro determines your micro. So right here, G2 are doing my favorite break in the world. This is a 3-1 split. 3-1 splits are so effective in breaking hills because this guy's job is to pinch, stay alive, drag attention, spawn them deeper, while these guys are using their numbers to trade out. This is arguably the biggest 1v1 for the hill. So let's see what number 1 does. Takes that long route because he expects someone to push out here. And this is beautiful, Kylie boy. Oh, Kylie Minogue with the pinch. I love this guy. Great pinch from Kylie Minogue. He predicts, because the game is linear, he's predicting that somebody was watching or someone's gonna pick this up, because what you would do, enemies would do. So Koi had their flow. The last guy was picking up the pinch, whether he can pick it up from here, from here, from here. There's so many places. He's predicting that they're going to be reading this, takes the long route to top, waits for these guys to activate, make their kills, ends up going across, catches number 7 shifting across to where the pressure is, because he's thinking, right, I have to trade. Kyle gets him, surprise, it's me, kills him in the back. Really, really good 3-1 break from G2. This brings a tear to my eyes. I love good Call of Duty like this. Gets him pinching. He's got so much dope right here of a perfectly well-timed break. They are going to watch this back and they are going to be high-fiving. If this was my team as Skies again, I am slapping Skies' belly. I'm saying, good job. You get more slaps on the belly if you do this more. Really good job from the team. So right here, 48 seconds left. Your win condition is to soak. What's the first thing everyone should be thinking is, where are they spawning? Because once you know the spawnings, because you've played this game 10,000 hours, you know where the timings are. First guy, his job is to buy as much time as we can, get information, stay alive. It's basically the reverse of what Insight and Koi were doing. And these guys can stay alive, pick a lane, play for information, do the same thing again. If you notice here, he has the M15 ready for the break for this P2. Pulled it out, and now look at him playing a good position. Wow. Really, really good plays. Really, really, really good. Right, 18 and 13. Ends up playing the time, 10 seconds left. Right, in this situation here, for you guys watching, G2 know they do not have new. The reason why they know they don't have new is because they've spawned on the time, process of elimination, anticipation. You know they're going to be set up to new. So right here, chat, if you know they're going to be on new or set up, it's up to you to predict and play for information on what that looks like. So you are always going to be at a disadvantage. So when you are rotating, general rule of thumb, at a disadvantage, you want to do it together. And the reason why you want to do it together is you want to force a trade. Because if you force a trade, you can get a side. And you can then, the guy on hill can repinch. Think of Hacienda P2 to P3. You want to use teamwork. You want to ape something together. You want to hold hands on a rotation when you are in a disadvantageous situation trying to break new. You are in a position of weakness because you do not know, out of the 150 spots that Toronto could be playing, you don't know exactly which one is going to be. I say 150, not that much, right? It's linear. So you have the advantage as when you're clearing things together, your predictions become quicker and quicker and quicker because the amount of spots that Koi could be playing become less and less and less and less. When it becomes less and less and less, your predictions become a lot more accurate. You increase the chance of you being right. And so because there's less spots you have to clear, there's more chances you're going to be right. You are in a position where you can then trade and force a trade instantly and isolate someone. This is where rotating early actually can become a double-edged sword. It's good to rotate early because you have the power positions. Like, you can play the power positions. But the problem with the power positions is if you're the team that's set up and you're not reading the pressure properly, or you're hesitating on the pressure, it can cause 1v2s and 1v3s. And then that 4v3 becomes a 3v3 or a 2v3. So then you get the advantage. You misread the pressure, you end up getting traded, and so then the team who ends up getting scrap time ends up winning new because you're relying on holding a wave that you miscorrectly read. So right here, what I would expect them to do is follow a game plan. This is what we call a linear situation. A linear situation is a repeatable situation that happens every single map. So right here, this is a linear situation. COD, there's not that many things you can do. There's the same tendencies, the same game plans, the same habits, the same situations. Don't let anybody fool you. Right here, I would expect G2 to have a set game plan on how they want to retake P3. Then once they get information or kills, they throw their game plans out the window, play to trade, and take the quickest route possible to play for P3. So right here, I'd expect them to use teamwork to get a side. Last guy can pinch, and they set up a 3-1 again. So let's see how they do it. 4 and 3 should go together. 1 will eventually go with them. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. This is their game plan. So he was trying to go through broken here. So I'm curious to see what they do here. Nice. There we go. So this is what I thought they would have done initially. And so because Kremp dies, they end up making the play that I thought they should have done. I thought they should have done it together. But now they're in a position to set up that exact same P3 break that they did from the first rotation. And it all started from having game plans and systems because you're in a disadvantageous situation. Now that you have numbers in a 4v2, there's a chance they could spawn in the hill. They have to be a lot quicker here to stop this from happening. And they'll end up maybe spawning here. We'll see. Just stay with me for 60 seconds. I'm going to tell you something about your own aim that is going to change the way that you shoot forever. Your aim is bad. I'm not trying to insult you. It is the truth. It's not your settings. It's not your controllers. It's not your internet. It's not your dead zone. You've changed your sensitivity about 50 times in the past 5 years. It's never going to fix it because the problem is not in your hands. It's in your eyes. When you say you need to train your aim, what are you actually training? Because most players, for you guys that are watching, you've never really thought about it. You load in, bot lobby, you just shoot. Aiming is not one skill. It is 4 completely different skills. Flicking, tracking, micro correction, target switching. Each one uses a different part of your brain. Each one needs a specific drill. Each one needs to be trained properly. What you are doing is the equivalent of going to the gym and you're just lifting random things. My pro players, my CDL champions have trained the same way as athletes that train their sport. One skill, one drill, one sequence at a time. That's why their aim is consistent and yours isn't. They're not more talented than you. They're more structured than you. So I give you that structure. 4 skills in the right order, the right amount. This is the whole point of my aim and moving masterclass for you to download. Inside, you'll get an aiming and movement video, a neuroscience of aiming guide, 30-day training calendar, champions daily practice planner, optimal CDL settings cheat sheet, and a before and after self-assessment. You download it once, lifetime access. Do this 20 minutes a day for 30 days. I will guarantee your aim will improve. Not just your aim, but how you aim and how you look at aiming. Check out dreal.co.uk. and click this big gold button right here to get yourself on the course page, or check out the link in the description if you want it. Right, back to the video. Wait, yep, they end up spawning here, and now they have the numbers to ape through time. Your game plan tells you what lanes you want to get first when you're taking numbers. You're towards the hill, you play to trade. This is a beautiful textbook break from G2 again. They did the same break in the first P3, ended up dying with the clean X2 piece, but this time they end up, well, I say they end up winning it. They end up breaking it, but they don't end up holding it. But it was a good break regardless. And then good re-break from from Koi. Alright, let's keep watching. Let's see what Kremp does here. As the first guy in flow tries to take a fight, ends up dying. Now, let's see, with 8 seconds left, he's going to spawn up here. They're going to use the spawn that they're given. He's the second guy in flow. We're just trying to take fights on the guy time. Kremp is the second guy. I expect him, same situation. If we don't rotate first, we have to make sure we're using teamwork and team shooting together to predict where they're going to be. I expect Kremp to start taking SMG fights with number 4 as they're clearing, as they're using process of elimination. So let's see how he plays it here. He's following number 4, 2 SMGs together, holding hands. Gets to the deep back, clearing it together. They should clear number 7, take the fight. Beautiful stuff, Kremp. Hey, I love you, Kremp. I love that, Kylie Minogue. I love him. I love him to bits. Right, now they have numbers. Kremp as an SMG winning you the game. First guy in flow. He's just aping towards time. He's hoping to try and get the last piece of information on number 6. We know he's in the hill. Where exactly in the hill is he? We don't know. We're trying to figure it out. His job is probably going to try and drag aim assist, get him weak, be the sacrificial lamb for Envoy to trade, to go 1-for-1 and team shoot. And then now they know the pressure is going to be front. They'll think ahead. All that sweet stuff. You see him jumping in. Huh? Huh? Okay, all good. I thought he was gonna ape. All good. You know, even the best players in the world, you know, sometimes decide to take a route for no reason. All good. I still love you, boy. All good. You're still the Dark Prince. Anyway, runs in expecting him to trade. Doesn't happen. Whatever. Tries to cut front. He's doing step 2 before he did step 1. All good. All good. I ain't going to tweak. I'm not a coach no more. I ain't going to tweak. All right. Good info for 2. Good info to 2. Right, we spawn on top of a teammate, which means they have no progression. Right, as an SMG, you play the next best position. Use your SMG. Use your slide cancel. Use your peek as advantage. Look at him. Shotgunning my boy. Semtex to buy time in case he gets instantly traded. Play the next best position. Predict where people are going to be. Ends up sliding out. Kills 1. Gets 2. Ends up dying. Game plan. Macro determines the micro. He's the last guy in the flow. It doesn't matter what weapon you have. You can pull out an M15 here if you're the 4th guy in flow. Just a recommendation. Right here, his job is to keep the game controlled, pick up any lanes that are open. He's going to then fight number 6 because he's got that information from his teammates. Does a really good job pushing through. Now he's the 3rd guy in flow, refilling through time. His spawn's like, oh, yo, someone's on the right. But obviously no one's on the right, but his spawn says that. But really, really good plays here. Now you just refill wherever the pressure is, using his SMG to take shotgun fights. One of the biggest things for you SMG players is when you predict where people are going to be, I want you to start reducing the distance between yourself and the opponents. Use the shotgun, use the snap, use the left stick centering, use your peek as advantage, treat it as though you actually have a shotgun. Kremp gets 2, baits out Caesar, tries to get the 3rd, ends up dying. Now they have the rotation to P2. His spawn is going to say, yo, they're already on P2. And now he's taking a long route. Well, he's with his teammates here, playing for the guy on old. Gets 1, has an M15 out. And this is really interesting to note. On all 3 P2s, he has an M15. It looks like they're just running 3 M15s on this P2. And that's something you guys can steal. Now, his job here is to play for progression. He's going to wait to break. He's going to try and buy some time, buy some kills for these guys to activate. Wants to get numbers and kills. He should go. He should go. He should go. Yeah. Go, go, go. Ah, putain, man. Ah, Susma B. You got to be going there, son. They know exactly where you're going to be. Plays confident, gets a 2. This is going to be all she wrote. I'm pretty sure. You see what I'm saying? Is like if you read the pressure wrong or you get like a lucky death, for example, and you instantly shift around before information, or you're like predicting where the pressure is going to come from, it opens up stuff like this where you're in a 1v1, 2v1, stuff like that. And if he loses it and then he's just like there and he loses it, well, they've got scrap and they've broke. Like right here. This is exactly the point I'm trying to make. If Caesar does not kill Kleenex, they are in a tough position because then he's still going to spawn out. We're in like a 4v2 pinch. And they could have broken. That was actually such a huge kill. Right, last guy in the flow. His job is to keep the game controlled. He's going to refill a lane to help trade. Go 1-for-1. Has an SMG out. Really, really good plays by Kyle. 33 and 26. Wonderful plays. Sheesh. All right. Oh, my God. All right, my